This is Deborah Weaver, and right now we're going to work on a men's version of a 5-pocket basic. So we have a straight leg here, and the photograph I shrunk to 5 inches by 150 res and put it in my artboard. On the bottom layer it's locked so that I can go ahead and start with my 1-point stroke line for the pant here. Let's go ahead and start with the waistband height, so that we get the waistband the same for the front and the back. So this will eventually be in the back. Let's get that height up to what it would be. Okay, and then we're going to come from that same point down to our front, which is right here. We always want our front anchor points to be in the position of being able to adjust them. If you move them, if the shape is out here on the side, it's harder to use this in other places. In other words, like being able to change it from a low rise to a high rise. Let's go ahead and fill that. We want to just double check that we're looking like it's the same height all the way around, and we can see that looks a little better there. So let's go ahead and start with our leg piece. That's the same shape. The position of change to move it up or down. We could also fade out the picture when we're sketching over pictures, just so that we can still see the grid in the background for when we want to drop our anchor points, so they can be a little bit better. Now, men's pants don't have too much shape. They're definitely more boxy, so it's easier just to leave it the way that it is. We do have an outseam right there, so we're just going to quick add some anchor points. Whoops. Repeat our shape. Add a couple of anchor points on the top and bottom here. We want always, about a ½ inch or so to show, so that we can show that out stitch that's the stitch that's on the outseam that's important. Now let's go ahead and take that same shape line. Hopefully it's intersected so that we can take our Pathfinder and just merge it. No, trim. Subtract it. Sorry, took me a while to come up with that one. Get rid of that, and then here we have our outseam piece that's consistent all the way down. Let's go ahead and take out the fill here so we can see what's going on with our pocket curve. So next we want to add a nice pocket curve shape. Be careful when you're copying over pictures, because sometimes they're not exactly in the same position. If it's not flat. This one looks like it was taken pretty flat. Okay, and then I've already prepared some of the elements that we're going to need for this sketch, which is the belt loop, the 1/4 double needle stitch, which I got off of the loop, and it's right here. I checked it. Here's the keyhole buttonhole. I grabbed a rivet, a simple rivet, and a tack button top, and we have a bar tack there. So on the outside, we're just going to do this one as a basic and have it just be a single needle. Get rid of the element on the side. And we do need to actually sketch this front one separate as well, because it's done in a different step, and it's best when the line looks accurately as another step. So as long as we get all these in place, then we can go ahead and mirror it over to the other side as we need it. We're going to need a coin pocket, but not the mirror aspect of the coin pocket. So here's the first double needle that we'll be using here, that we already have up here. We know when we duplicate curved lines that they don't always fall into place as easily as square ones, so we might have to make a couple of fine adjustments here. Let's make sure that it's going into the edge there, and it reaches up right before the loop. Okay, let's fill in to see how that looks. Looks okay. Looks like our one line that doesn't go up high enough, this one right here. So merge that up into the waistband. Okay, and then we are going to put a double needle stitch here on the inseam, just because we're making this as a core piece. No fill. And then on the outseam, let's move it a little bit further away from the edge. It's always good to have that swag. We'll add that in a minute. Let's go ahead and add just a single needle stitch out here. I'm going to put the waistband one. And it looks like it ends right there. You can see it right here. And then we have a bar tack there. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and get the bar tack. Control C. I'm going to hit Control V after I put my selection tool on the layer that I want it to be on there. Okay, so there's my stitch there. Let's move the belt loop. Let's group the belt loop. I already did the belt loop, but there it is right there. And it looks like I went a little bit too tall. Let's shrink the height just a tad to match more what's in the background there. This is on top. Control C to read on top of this layer. Control, oops. I'm going to do it on top of everything. Okay, so let's put that in place. And that should be swung to be flush with the top waist there. You can see that that's flush. It still looks a little bit too tall. Let's squish it down just a little bit more. Okay, so then we have a rivet that we want to put on top of this. And we have one here and another one down here. Let's see, what else do we have? This J all goes on the other side there. So that's it. Let's go ahead and zoom out and put the hem information on there. Here we're just going to duplicate this line here. Give it our single needle. I drop on that stitch. Move it into place, and it looks like we have about a 1/2 inch hem there, which is a standard size hem. We can go ahead and group everything here except for the back. We don't need that back piece. And go ahead and mirror it over. So once you have a standard, then it's really easy to do a million other styles if you end up being in the bottoms denim industry. So we can see here that it's matched up down there, but we didn't get the waistband close enough to the center front. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way so I can freely grab that and move it in. 1, 2, look straight, and then we go 1, 2, and that's the one on top. This is the opening side here. So let's go ahead and take the fill out. So we can see there's our button there, and the buttonhole, the keyhole buttonhole, Control C. I'm going to click on top and then hit Control V for being on top of everything here. Once we fill the waistband, that'll be filled. And then we're going to take the button, Control C, and we want to be right on top of that. And we want a little bit of it to be peeking out on the corner. So let's just check that by refilling our waistband. And we can see it's peeking out just as we need. Okay, so we have a edge single needle stitch that goes here, and this is actually done at a different time. It's okay if you make this one line going all the way down, just as long as you know that it's done at different times. The J stitch, let's take this fill out so we can see what's going on with the J stitch. We're just going to do a standard. We're not going to have this converging here. We're just going to do the standard version because this will become a template for us. We're going to just put a double needle from here straight up. Let's make it that one. It's good to have a standard template before you get into too many complicated variances on designs, especially on a 5 pocket. Let's go ahead and fill that again. Didn't look very good there. The stroke wasn't repeating very nicely. Let's add that swag. Make sure we have a big enough line size. Take the dash out. Let's go maybe 1.25. Down so that we can end our bottom stitches here in it. So we're going to drop that down just a tad so that it stops there, and then now we need to just add one more. This would actually be a 1/4 inch into the J, because that's the standard of what it looks like, and then we would put a bar tack, a 1/4 inch horizontal bar tack there. That into place. It would be right there. Other than that, we would have on the back waistband. Let's go ahead and move that into place. We would have chain stitches back there. I'm not sure if I have the chain stitch on this page. So let's just duplicate that shape and see if we have the chain stitch here. Yep, there it is. And go ahead and take the fill out, change this to that, and then shrink it down to maybe a 0.25. Let's start with that and see how it looks. It's still too big, so let's do a 0.08. That's better. Let's get rid of these sides we don't need. And let's just move them down together so that they'll stay. If we need them for any internal views, it'll be there. We need to move that that one up just a tad there. So Control Y can take you in and out of the line mode to be able to see what's going on there. Let's drop that one down just a nudge. And then now we want to put the bar tacks from the belt loops back there. Control C, click on that because we want it to be on top of that before we hit Control V. And then here we have our center back bar tack for the loops that are back there, and we have one over here, and then let's just go ahead and mirror that one over to the other side, and now we can come back in on this side and add our coin pocket information. So we just want to use a very standard coin pocket. Rotate that. They're usually very even with that top edge there. You could come out just a little bit bigger. And then go ahead and get rid of this bottom part. And then put it in place up here. Depending on what you're going to fill the sketch with, you're going to want this separate shape or not, so that when you do go to do the fill, it doesn't leave you any white information. It's not going to be filled. Okay, so on a coin pocket, you're typically going to have 2 1/4 inch double needle stitches that go along with the rest of the sketch that you have already. We can just do one simple hem stitch on top here, single needle, and then we do want some bar tacks. Grab our bar tack, click on the way that I want it to be, move it into place, rotate it just a tad so that it's perpendicular, so that it's parallel with the top edge there, and then, whoops, and then go ahead and put the other one on the other side. We need a rivet. We want a rivet. Let's put it right here. This is the standard position for that. So zoom out, well, there's the front. We're done with the front. We can go ahead and grab the front to make the back like we always do. Let's just take it over there. Come over to the back. Let's get our artboard right in front of us. And we'll just start to delete the stuff that we don't need. So we don't need any of the fly information there. None of the crotch. We don't need the bar tacks. We do need the leg shape. There's not going to be, whoops, any double needle on the back in the inseam. So we can get rid of that one. We don't need the outseam piece at all, or the stitch information. We don't need any of the coin pocket stuff. I'm just going to line mode. I can just grab it all. Oh, it looks like I'm not. Back to the, this is ungrouped. That is all grouped. It stayed grouped. We do need the belt loop, so let's take that on the side. We don't need any of this buttonhole information. We're just going to go from right to left. It's a little quicker. So let's go ahead and move our back body up so that it's straight. Let's zoom in so we can see what we're doing here. We just need these to be standard single needle look stitches. So we're going to go to this one. Let's make that one full of suit. We have to take them out of the brushes that they're in first, and then they'll go into what you want. Let's just nudge that one up so we can see it. We can see here now that the back waistband wasn't quite shaped to match the back here. So move that out just a tad. We're going to have to do that on this side too. And then we can see here that we're still not meeting the top. Let's go ahead and adjust that. There's something extra there. Yeah, there's an extra stitch line there that must have been stuck on that bottom, this piece right here. Okay, so let's just nudge that up so that it's getting at least into our waistband. And we can just grab the entire waistband and bring it to the front. Okay, so there's our back. And then we know on the back we have this back yoke that's already there. So if I just take this shape here and put the anchors where it is, I can see right here it's about 1 inch down on the side fold there. And then if I just get rid of these pieces right here, I pretty much have my shape there. I can close it and then move it over. Now, most of the time, the welt stitching and seams are they're folded down, and you can see that here on this style that it is. So it's going down, and then it looks like the double needle's on this side. So we'll go ahead and add that. We're going to have to go back to the front and add the front part of this, where this back yoke shows at the front. Okay, so there's that, and then we have a nice basic pocket here that does taper in just slightly at the bottom, so we can make it look like that. Let's just start a little bit wider and then come in. So we're going to add the anchor point first in the middle and then come down, and then let's just go in 1, 2 maybe, and on this side 1, 2. Maybe it's a bit too tall. Let's go back to what we had. Okay, and then from here, no, it's not a fill. Let's fill it. Let's add the basic double needle everywhere. Except for the top one. Move that over. We're going to go ahead and put just a regular 1/2 inch hem stitch up here on the top. You never want your stitches floating on the outside though, so make sure that they're always within your sketch there. Go up just a nudge on this side so that it looks a little bit more even with the other side. There we go. Let's go ahead and grab that in my hand. I'm going to group all that together. I need some bar tacks now, so I do need these belt loops to just be straight here on the back, so let's just put those straight. We're going to have one in the middle, bring it to the front, and then we'll have one on this outer side. It'll be the same on the other side. This stitch needs to be on the bottom side like that. Let's move that on the bottom. And then this over to the other side. 0, Alt, hold down the key, move it over. They look like they're twisted in. I'm going to twist it. Out. Shouldn't be looking like it's twisted in. If anything, it would be out, not in. You never want the loop to be floating above the top of the waistband because it is bar tacked onto the waistband, which is there. Okay, so the last thing we needed to add was the bar tack onto the top of the back pockets there. Let's go ahead and grab it, move it over here. We've got one here, another one here, and we can group those with our pocket. Tilt our pocket slightly because that's what it looks like here. I just was getting it made straight first, and then go ahead and let's just go ahead and grab everything here over to the other side. So the whole leg with the pocket and the back yoke information. So let's go ahead and just mirror that whole thing over, and then add our back rise stitch. We need this belt loop to be to the front, and that swag to be to the front. And it looks like I need to come over just a hair. What's going on here? That this is looking a little bit thick. Okay, let's just go ahead and put our back rise stitch information that we need. It needs to go all the way up. And then let's move our loop back to the front. On top of everything, this one got moved back. Okay, so there's our back view. We need to add this yoke coming up over here on this side. So let's go ahead and put that. We had the seam, which we were saying was about 1 inch. And then we have the double needle on the bottom, which is there. We can go ahead and nudge that down so that it's really obvious. Grab the two together. Control G for grouping, mirror it over to the other side. And there you have your men's basic 5 pocket.